A long time ago, in a remote village, a young man named Zahid lived with his father Nasir. They owned a small shop that provided just enough for them to survive. Life was simple. They had no one else in the world but each other. Every night, when the day's work was over, Nasir would sit with his son and give him gentle advice. Son, death never comes with an appointment. If I leave this world, remember this, you will never be truly alone. God will always be with you. Our shop is only a means of survival, but true success lies in the blessings of God. Always hold on to honesty, even if it costs you everything. And treat people with kindness, for when no one else stands with you, God himself will become your support. Hearing this, Zahid would grow uneasy. Father, please don't say that. May God forbid you ever leave me. What would I do without you? Nasir placed his hand lovingly on his son's head and replied with a smile. My son, one day I must go, but if you trust God, you will never feel abandoned. He is the protector of those who believe in him. Hold on to faith, and you will never fail. Though Zahid listened, deep inside he often questioned his father's words. If I work hard, stay honest, and treat people well, what does trusting God even mean? Isn't everything the result of my own actions? And with that thought, he would dismiss his father's advice. But Zahid had no idea that life was preparing to teach him a lesson he would never forget. Time passed, and the day came that Nasir always spoke of. He passed away. Zahid was left alone. The shop reminded him of his father at every corner. Returning home, the silence of four empty walls crushed him. His father's words echoed in his heart, words he had never taken seriously. Life was difficult, but Zahid kept busy with work. Still, loneliness never left his side. One day, Zahid needed to travel to another city to purchase supplies for his shop. It was his first journey without his father. He mounted his horse and set off across the vast desert, full of hope that he would reach safely. But as the sun began to set, fear crept in. Hunger and thirst weighed heavily on him. The desert night grew darker, and wild sounds echoed from the distance. His horse grew restless, sensing danger. Zahid's courage started to fade. Exhausted and afraid, he remembered his father's words, Son, God will meet you when no one else is around. For the first time, Zahid raised his hands and prayed sincerely, Lord, if my father's words were true, then please, provide me water, provide me food. I am weak and helpless. Moments later, his frightened horse bolted into the darkness. Zahid chased it, cursing his misfortune. But the chase led him to something unexpected, a faint light in the distance. Following the light, Zahid discovered an entire village. But every house was locked and deserted. Fear tightened around his chest. At last, he found one house with light inside. He knocked. Who's there? A deep voice asked. A traveler, Zahid answered. Lost in the desert. Please, I need shelter. The door opened. Inside, Zahid found a man lying on the ground, his legs paralyzed. Despite his condition, the man smiled warmly. Zahid poured out his story and then begged, Please, brother, I'm dying of thirst. Can you give me water? The disabled man replied calmly, There's no water here, but if you walk toward that distant light in the desert, you will find it. As for food, God himself will arrange it. Confused but desperate, Zahid obeyed. The light led Zahid to a small hut. Inside, he found an old man praying. The elder looked at him kindly and said, Son, when your trust in God weakens, that is when you lose your way. There, take that jar of water and go. Zahid carried the jar back, relieved. But on the way, he stumbled in the dark. The jar shattered. All the water spilled into the sand. Frustrated, he returned empty-handed. The disabled man simply raised his hands in prayer. Lord, if this traveler is truly hungry and thirsty, then help me so I may help him. Just then, a knock came at the door. Zahid froze. Who could it be in this deserted place? The paralyzed man smiled. Whoever it is, they've brought you food and water. When Zahid opened the door, there stood the old hermit, carrying water and food. Smiling, he said, "You couldn't even carry one jar? Here, take this for you and your horse. Remember, God provides not just for you, but for the creatures that serve you." Zahid ate, drank, and wept silently. For the first time, he understood what trust in God truly meant. The next morning, Zahid asked the disabled man, "Why didn't you leave this abandoned village?" He replied, "I cannot walk, and besides, I prefer this place for worship. God provides for me every day. Not once has he left me hungry." "And that old man?" Zahid asked. "He is a servant of God.